Hello, it's Doris with Aldi Books, and I just wanted to drop in with a quick little Friday reads here. So I have finished a few books thus far this month. The first one I finished was Invictus, Nelson Mandela and the Game That Made a Nation by John Carlin, and this was previously titled Playing the Enemy. This is about the game of rugby and the game of politics and what an absolutely brilliant politician Nelson Mandela was. I loved this book. This is going to be in my top books of the year. It just really caught me up in the spirit of the moment. Nelson Mandela, what a great man. Like, he had flaws like any other man, but he is one of those that was raised up for this moment in time, and he lived the moment gloriously. And if you love a good sports book, I do. I love a good moment in sports. This just really ticked a lot of boxes for me. So yes, Nelson Mandela, new president, trying to unite a nation that was so divided, and gosh, we need one of those now. Anyway, maybe Biden needs to, find a sport for us. I'm getting distracted. I love this book. I loved it so much. Oh my goodness. I also finished Stiff by Mary Roach. This is the curious lives of human cadavers. I found this very sacrilegious isn't the right word. I don't know what the right word is right now. If I wasn't talking to you, the right word would be right there. One of the funniest and most unusual books of the year, gross, educational, and unexpectedly side-splitting. I wouldn't call it side-splitting, but it was definitely humorous to me, and irreverent. That's the word, irreverent. It is very irreverent, but I also found it quite respectful. Maybe I was reading too much in between the lines there. Some of you would just be completely offended, and I totally get it. Educational as well. So this is focusing on cadavers, not death, cadavers, which that distinction really worked for me. And yeah, you just look at the lives of cadavers, and I think Mary Roach would agree with that word, the lives of cadavers. She uses that analogy quite a lot in this book. So yeah, the lives of cadavers as crash test dummies in the field of forensic science, historically speaking, in the medical field. Yeah, just so many neat things that cadavers do for us. Organ donors, good stuff. So learned a lot. I was minorly amused, and I apologize if it offends you that I found it funny, but I did. And then Once Upon a River by Diane Setterfield. This one I also read along with Stiff for my mid-month Boo Bash. I was highly successful with that. I read 775 pages. I had to cheat a little bit and go into Tuesday morning, okay, but I still call it a win. Yes, so this, the author of The 13th Tale, which I also enjoyed, I much preferred this one to The 13th Tale, I think. It's been a while, but I loved the characters in this story. And I was just talking to my Regency Romance reader buddies, Heidi and Katie, about books that write characters that you fall in love with and they become real for you, and you want their lives to be special after the book is over and you continue thinking how they will be. This was one of those kind of books for me. So many of the characters I cared so much about. She just had a gift with making me engage with characters. Now, I really like likable characters, okay? So there's that. And I liked them a lot. I did. I also enjoy a touch of magical realism. That's something that also works for me. And the setting. Once Upon a River, she made the river a character running throughout the story. So good stuff, good stuff. And the writing was gorgeous. So these are things that really, like, for me as a reader, speak to my tastes. So again, a lot of people may or may not enjoy this book, but for me, it just really worked well. It's also, I think, a Victorian historical setting, I think, maybe. So yes, really enjoyed this. It's a little bit of a mystery on the river about some girls that are lost and some girls that are found. So yeah, good read. And currently I moved into The Corset by Laura Purcell. Victim or villain, mad or a murderer. So this is the opposite effect. The two main characters in this story, this might be Victorian as well, I'm not really sure. I think possibly. But you have a well-to-do do-gooder and a, you know, lower middle class, lower middle class, I think, girl who's in prison for murder. And thus far, like, I haven't read much, so it's not at the point where I'm worried if it's going to engage me or not. I mean, it's enjoyable, but it's not capturing me yet the way Silent Companions did. I mean, Silent Companions was my kind of spooky, okay? Totally. This one, unlike Once Upon a River, the characters are not at all likable for me. Like, I don't like them. I don't like the characters. So we'll see. Like, I don't need to like the characters, but the spookiness hasn't ramped up yet either. We're just kind of still setting the stage, but it's a quick read, and I think once I get going in it, I'll really enjoy it. So stay tuned for that. I also finished on audiobook the second in the Lisa Kleypas. What series am I reading again? You guys know. Wallflowers, the Wallflower series. I don't know the name of the book, but totally enjoyed it. The characters, that's the characters that Heidi and Katie and I were discussing. Like, we care deeply about how they've gotten along in their imaginary lives since the book finished. So good, so good. It was written in the early aughts, so the Me Too movement hadn't cleaned up some of the problematic points, but, you know, once you get past that, the chemistry between the characters is just so lovely and charming, and the side characters, and yes. Okay. And then finally, I'm also reading currently Beatrix Potter, A Life in Nature by Linda Lear, and really enjoying this. Oh my goodness. Beatrix Potter, she's a bit of a well-to-do do-gooder too, and perhaps is slightly unlikable at times, but you know, she's human in this book. And I mean, not really even unlikable, just not the angelic persona that you would think from a naturalist who wrote Beatrix Potter. But what a woman. Like, she's stifled in her independence by the society and time in which she lived, and her parents' overbearing and demanding nature, but still she fought through and became such an intellectual, such a creative powerhouse, an entrepreneurial powerhouse. She paved trails. She paved trails in conservation and in science and the naturalist field, in artistry, business. What a woman. Farming. What a woman. So I am maybe a third of the way through. There's a lot of footnotes. So it's only 450 pages, which, might I add, is the appropriate length, in my opinion, of a biography. You know what I'm talking about. So even the boring parts are okay because it's 450 pages as opposed to 930. You get my meaning? Anyway, yes, I'm very much enjoying this. And I have switched to audiobook. I read the first 140 or 50 pages with my eyeballs, but I ended my Regency Romance audiobook and all my BookTube Prize audiobooks, and I needed an audiobook, and this one was available, and it's a good fit. Nonfiction is usually a good fit for me on audiobooks. So there you go. There you go. So that's what I have read and I'm currently reading so far this month, but my TBR is, you know, still quite sizable and varied, and I'm feeling it, okay? So I've noticed this year that I have been doing a lot of one book at a time reading. Like, usually there's an audiobook dancing in the background, but I've been focusing on one book at a time, which has been enjoyable, especially for the vlogs. I've enjoyed that format of vlogging one book at a time on those. But I'm feeling the urge to get back into the poly reader mindset. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, that'll be another video. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching, and I will be back soon. Bye.